Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
So, Michelle.
So,
this is the 101st time that I've made you sit down with me in front of a microphone, which, as far as we can tell at this juncture, is on.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
And last week we did the live 100th episode special, which was actually pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
It almost made me want to just live stream with you, except that would require us to keep some kind of an actual consistent schedule for sitting down to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad about that.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it, but then people will be mean to us live.
They were only a little mean.
Yeah.
They also gave us a little bit of money. I mean, a very little bit of money. $4.20. Nice.
What
and
about the
69 cents?
Nice.
Yeah. But so it's October now. And when we were doing, because that show was right before October started when we recorded it. But it's October now, spooky season. And I just got back from Cinema Wasteland, the movie memorabilia expo in Cleveland, Ohio. The first Cinema Wasteland in 2 years for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing that's going around.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I had a really good time. Saw a lot of old friends, things like that. It was nice. I even got my friend Carolyn wanted to send some love to this show. When she saw me, she mentioned some positive things about the show.
Oh,
So thank you, Carolyn. And I was just thinking, so I got back and obviously I needed to rest, recover from the show, from all of that. And I decided to kick back and try my hand at binge watching some things, which I don't do a lot. And frankly, I think I need to do more. That's where I'm at in life. I'm like, why don't I binge watch more? You know? So I thought we'd talk a little bit because we were right before we started. We were talking about things we like that are kind of spooky and fun. I watched Midnight Mass on Netflix, which is created by Mike Flanagan, who not only did the movie Hush and Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep, but then also was at the helm of the Haunting of Hill House series, which was excellent, and the Haunting of Bly Manor, which I also liked. I think it was actually pretty excellent. That one about halfway through I really got into. Although Haunting of Hill House took like 4 episodes for me to be like, oh my God, I'm so addicted to this. It's like crack cocaine now. I know you didn't like Haunting of Hill House because you didn't finish it.
Yeah, but it was like all the episodes were so long and I didn't really like them.
Yeah.
So like, not gonna finish it. I've learned over the years that I don't have to finish a show if I don't like it.
Even when a friend tells you, trust me, it's good, you're like, well, I don't trust you. That's your response.
No. Yes. No. I mean, it depends. Sorry, but
No, you're fine. But I will say with Haunting of Hill House, my biggest complaint was that for the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes, I really couldn't tell the people apart.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on purpose because they're all supposed to be related to each other. So they all have the same colored hair and relatively similar. I'm serious. They do though. That's on purpose.
No, I understand that, but like they do know people who are related to each other don't all look the same. Right?
What I'm trying to say is that, well, you say that when you like look exactly like your siblings.
I know, but most people don't.
You really, it's weird. You all look like very similar to each other.
I know.
So I don't think number 1, you don't have any room to talk.
Okay.
B, number 2. No, but I think it was a stylistic choice to make it feel more like that. But like I said, by the 3rd or 4th episode, I could very well tell them all apart and recognize them to their child counterparts because it would constantly go back and forth from them being children and them being adults. I thought that was really cool, but you did have to commit in order for it to really reward you.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is you should have been brave. You weren't brave. You let everyone down. But I really do think you would like it if you watched it all. But that being said, so Haunting of Bly Manor came out last year. It was pretty awesome. And this year we have Midnight Mass, and I can't say anything about what it's about because it'll ruin it. Because the best part about Midnight Mass is not knowing what it's about, so that you find out as you watch. But it is a great, like, little seaside community terror story about a little community who's being perverted by something. And the best part about the show is if you just take it at face value, it seems like it's a very, like, anti-religion message. But if you take it completely at face value, it's actually a very positive religious message in its way. When it was over, I actually said to myself out loud, like, this was a very Christian show. Like, but of course, the best of Christianity were the heroes of the series. So, people who believed nice things and kind things, and not necessarily all of the very angry scriptures that are in there, which are constantly quoted throughout the show, which is why I said, like, a lot of people might think it's just outwardly anti-Christian.
Yeah.
But in reality, maybe not. And I would tell you more, but you'll never watch it because you don't take our friendship seriously.
I'll watch it.
Do you want us? We can watch it on 2/7. I'll watch the whole thing. It's only 7 hours. 7.5 hours total. That's total, not per episode. That'd be awesome. 7 hours per episode. It's only 6 episodes of 7 hours apiece.
I can't. I mean, at that point, you would just want to break it up into smaller episodes. Because, But I kind of would like the commitment. It's like, no, you have to watch the full 7.5 hour episode because it's like there's no place to pause. It's just that fast.
We've disabled pause. We've disabled pause, and we've disabled resume, and we've disabled fast forward. There's only rewind.
Yes. And if you rewind, then you can't fast forward again. So don't
so
do
you better really have missed something that you care about. But no, I really enjoyed the show. I think that Haunting of Hill House being 10 episodes was a massive, massive commitment. And that was challenging for me as a short attention span butt nugget that I am. But although, that's an argument. You hear people say that all the time, that kids today, people today have short attention spans. I don't get that. Do you?
No, no.
See, I think it's actually the opposite. I think that people are more interested in really long movies, and especially really long continuous series. Because most of the most popular television shows out there, you can't just start on episode 4 and understand it all. I mean, you may be able to start at episode 4 and then you'll go back someday and watch those episodes you missed and go, oh, but you're not going to get the whole experience. But for the longest time, that's the way television was. It was like, we got to play it safe. We got to make sure that that every episode could be enjoyed somewhat out of order with a very small amount of arc, if any.
Right.
But now, because somebody said that, like, people have no attention span now. I was like, really? Because all the top grossing movies are so long, my bladder is ready to die. Like, these Marvel movies are knocking on 3 hours. This new James Bond movie is almost 3 hours long. Why?
I don't know. I don't like James Bond, so I really
silly.
don't know.
That's silly. I mean, all he does is, like, very questionable consent stuff and more. But and he has a license to kill. But I'm going to be seeing the new James Bond movie next week because my buddy Matt, he's just a nutcase and he keeps buying private screenings and just inviting me and my friends and not letting us pay for anything. Very sweet thing of him to do. Also, the new Halloween comes out next weekend.
Oh,
which I know you probably don't want to go to the movie theater, but I really want you to see it.
I want to see it too, but I also really don't want to go to the movie theater.
Then I'll pay for you to get Peacock for 1 week so you can watch it.
Ugh.
It's on Peacock. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Or you can go to the goddamn movie theater.
No.
But no. So I remember though sitting with Matt and as much as, because he gets me to see movies I may not have necessarily went to see. Nothing against movies I don't want to see. It's just that I'm not willing. Like, I have so much time. Only so much time in a week. So like yesterday I went and saw Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the new Venom movie. It's fun. I would not have seen it if Matt hadn't been like, I bought us a private theater rental for Venom. I was like, okay, I'll go see it. So, but it was fine. so he's booked us at James Bond, and I turned to him the other day, yesterday when we were at the theater, and I said, "Hey, what's the name of that James Bond movie?" And he was like, "Oh, it's No Time to Die." And I was like, "I feel like there's plenty of time to die. It's like 3 hours long because everyone's talking about how long it is." I was like, "I feel like there's plenty of time to die." There's the title of the episode. There's plenty of time to die. But let's take that out of context.
Yeah.
But because you really liked, you haven't seen all of the Halloween movies, but I've shown you a good chunk of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I've shown you up to like 4 or 5.
I think so too. Yeah.
So you've seen up to 4 or 5, and then I took you to the theater when I was visiting you, and we went and saw, which was one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, you had a good time.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I was telling someone this story just the other day, about so when I really, back in the before times when you and I would hang out a lot because I would travel a lot or you would travel a lot, like I took you to see It when you were in Dayton, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and we saw Gone Girl together when you were in Dayton because it was like right before, since we had just enough time, I'd be like, yeah, let's make sure to go to a movie. And it was usually a movie I'd already seen that I really liked, that I really wanted you to see.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing happens, but this time I'm visiting you and I'm like, oh, come on, let's go see Halloween again because it was in October.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go to see Halloween, and where is that theater? I mean, like, you don't have to say the specifics, but where is that theater in relation to Philadelphia and such?
Okay, so I think, I'll give you town. I'm not gonna
It's a little
say.
AMC theater.
Yeah. Did we go to the King of Prussia one, or did we go to the one near me?
We went to the one near you.
Me. So it's actually, it's about like, it's actually not that close to Philly. It's like maybe like 25 minutes from the border of Philadelphia. But it's in what county? It's in Delaware County, near that Walmart.
Yeah, and right near the Walmart. Because I went to that theater by myself a couple of times while you were working. But the best thing, I don't know why why the theater is the way it is, but it is very much like half, I hate being one of those pieces of shit who says urban. It's half like black people, but then also there were like a bunch of college kids and like high school age kids.
Yeah, well, Delaware County is not. It's a suburban county, but it's got a lot of like working class areas that are, I guess, as you said, urban-ish.
Urban is the polite way to put it. Just black people mostly, not entirely. Well, it's like where I am. If you go to the movie theater, because I live in the suburbs, if you go to a movie theater and there's a urban, I hate it. Urban, a lot of urban people. The saying is always because the bus runs there. That's the thing around here. What? To
be fair, there probably is a bus that runs there,
but
sure. There just aren't that many movie theaters around here. There's like one in Upper Darby, but like I think it's pretty small.
Yeah.
So like anybody who's coming from Delco is probably going to that theater, or they're going to King of Prussia or something.
Yeah, King of Prussia has a really nice theater. But my point is, so what happens, what my favorite movie theater experience is when you have a nice diverse mix of like people from urban areas and people from suburban areas. See, now I can use that because now I am literally meaning urban and suburban, as opposed to I just hate when people say urban when they mean like black people. It's like just like so anyway. But so we're watching the movie. You should tell it. I should make you tell it.
No, you should tell it.
You should tell it.
No, please. I think you want to tell it. I think you're like excited about
but
it.
I tell it all the time. You tell it.
That's okay. You tell it because I
don't remember.
No, I don't have like good specifics that I can,
Well, so we're at the movie theater. It's packed. Almost full.
Yeah.
And there's, a lot of people from the city, black people and the like. And then there's also like some kids who look like they're either in high school or really early college, because you and I are getting so old now that everyone looks like children. But so I love theaters like that because I know that I'm crazy. I talk to so many friends who are like fuddy-duddies. They're like, I hate when I'm at the theater and like people talk. I'm like, I don't know. It depends on what they're saying. Like, and if they're talking really loudly, if they're just kind of muttering to themselves, or if they say something like really funny. Well, so this black lady was talking to her friend, and the best part is she wasn't saying anything negative about the movie or anything. She was just like sharing with her the moments she liked in the movie, which I find charming. I can't help it. I mean, I know it would have been annoying if she was really loud, which she was not. She was a little loud though. Loud enough for people further away from her than us to complain. And that's where we're going with this story. So she's especially, I don't know how many, for the people who have not seen Halloween 2008, it's 2018, there is a little boy, a little black child who is hilarious. He is a major comic relief because he's the boy being babysat in the movie. And every line out of his mouth is a zinger. It's really, really funny. And the whole audience is laughing. And this lady is laughing and then like turning to her friend and going, "Oh my, I just love him." Like she's just eating it up as she should, because that kid is one of the highlights of that movie. And finally, after she's like talking about this kid, some little white little fucking maybe I think he was college aged, but like, young kid turns around and goes, "Shh." And she just goes, "Oh, shush yourself, you little bitch." And it was the greatest day of my life. It was so good. Shush yourself, you little bitch. It was great. It was great. And everyone laughed, but especially I laughed for basically forever. And I'm sure you probably laughed mostly at me laughing at it because I couldn't stop laughing. So my point is, I really like seeing movies around where you live. Although the theater I like to go to, because there are two theaters. So the two theaters near me, the two multiplexes near me, one is 3.4 miles away and one is 3.5 miles away.
Oh.
But they're in opposite directions. I go to the 3.4, but many of my friends prefer the 3.5. And I'm not trying to dig at my friends because it's not that they're racist, but I'm going to give a racist reason for why. No, but the bus runs to the theater I like to go to. The bus does not run to the other theater that they all like to go to. Shockingly enough, not my buddy Dave. My buddy Dave likes going to the theater I like going to. For once, Dave, I know you're listening. For once, Dave, you were not the racist in this story. So poor Dave, he's just sitting there on his Monday trying to get through a long day. He's like, I'm going to relax with a podcast that insults me directly. So, no, but that was one of the best movie theater experiences ever.
It was fun.
And I think you need to see Halloween Kills. We're going to make that happen for you. Okay. I think you can just get a 7-day trial to watch it. So anyway, we just talked a whole bunch about nothing. Which, it's 101 episodes in, so I feel like that's par. So, Michelle, you were telling me you've been listening to some spooky stuff.
I guess.
The moment we record, before this, you were like a salesperson for that podcast.
Yeah, I know.
And now, all of a sudden, you're like, I don't know. I don't even have ears. Like, what are you talking about? What was the name of the show you were telling me about?
I was telling you about Within the Wires. Which isn't always a spooky podcast, probably. I guess I've only heard the first season, and they're all a different story every season, so I don't have to go in order. And I know the new season is about to come out, and it's going to be a ghost story. Ooh. So that's going to be fun.
I would assume that they probably just, and correct me if I'm wrong, they probably just, because I've not had a chance to listen to these yet, they probably just are in the realm of like, not necessarily horror, but like thriller, suspense, mystery.
Yeah, I mean the first one is the first one definitely is. So I would assume that's kind of what those writers seem to write.
Those writers? You mean those writers. Black writers?
No.
No, but you were talking about there are a lot of the people from Welcome to Night Vale.
Yeah, it's one of it's like somebody, and then one of the guys from Welcome to Night Vale, but I don't remember. They both have names that start with J, so I don't know which is which. I just know he's the one that has the cats. Like he is cats.
He is cats.
Yes.
He has cats.
He talks about them.
I do love Welcome to Night Vale, even though I have not been a intensive listener. I am definitely a fan of Welcome to Night Vale.
It's nice because it comes out bi-weekly, so it's nice to listen to bi-weekly. That way it's not so much.
Which bi-weekly? Because literally this is one of my pet peeves. When you search what the definition of bi-weekly is, it literally gives you 2 definitions.
I know. I understand that. And when I say it, I go, I'm not sure if anyone's going to understand what I mean. Every other week.
Thank you. See, when I hear bi-weekly, that is what I assume.
Mm-hmm.
But I searched bi-weekly, bi-monthly. I searched the definitions, and it was like, it either means once every other of the time or twice in that time.
Yeah, I know.
That's really not... That's not helpful.
It's not.
It's bi-weekly. So is that every other week or twice a week?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this our language? Like, why? Why couldn't the Germans have won just so we would speak a little bit more straightforward language? Not those Germans, the World War I Germans.
Oh, okay.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Okay.
So when does it drop?
I think on the 12th. I think that's what they said when I listened to Welcome to Night Vale, and they said it because they said it the other time too, and I was like, oh, but I didn't hear the date, and then I looked for it and I couldn't find it, and I thought maybe I was crazy, and they didn't say that.
You think that about like anything that you do? You're like, maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. So I think it's the 12th.
Okay.
Maybe.
So and that was Inside the Wires?
Within the Wires.
Within the Wires. Much creepier title. And
it's what it is it's like a found media. I guess found audio. Yeah. Kind of thing from it's like, and they're all in like different time periods, but they're all from a parallel universe, like the same parallel universe, basically. Okay.
The kind of convolution you've come to expect from the writers of Welcome to Night Vale.
Pretty much.
I mean that with love. I mean that with sincerity and love. That's not me picking on them at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's just their game, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
I would dare say great at it.
Yeah.
So,
but I will say, if you want to hear something, if you want to if you're like, oh, it's not the 12th yet, just start the first season and listen to that, because that's really good.
What kind of investment are we talking about in one season in time?
I don't know. How many episodes was that? I think it was 8 or 10 episodes, and they were 25 minutes.
Oh, 25. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's manageable.
Yeah, and they're all it's done in I guess cassette tapes, like relaxation cassette tapes. And I don't want to say any more than that because it would spoil everything.
Yeah. I love stuff like that where there's a hidden thing in an innocuous medium.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of ARGs, alternate reality games, on YouTube where there's one, I forget, it's channel something, and it is a cable access channel, but the more you watch it, the weirder it gets, and the more you realize that it's from an alternate timeline where things are very, very bad and very bad things have happened. Mm-hmm. I love stuff like that. I think it's super fun, super interesting. I've been toying with the idea, Weekly Spooky recently celebrated its 100th episode as well. And this is the time for Weekly Spooky. Right now our listenership is 8 times or 10 times what it normally is, which is actually, I think it's almost 11 times what it normally is, which is amazing.
Wow.
And I hope many of those people will stick around after spooky season ends. But it's amazing to, know that we're reaching such a broad audience, such a big audience of people, and we're entertaining them, hopefully. And, but I keep thinking I want to do a limited series. I want to do something like that. We're thinking next year, of experimenting with a 4-parter.
Okay. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So 1 month will be one story.
Yeah.
And just see if people like that or not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about people, but I prefer long lengthy, which is why I tend to prefer TV shows to movies, because it can be much longer and spread out, and I can learn more
and
stuff.
Then you can say it's too long for me to watch all of it. That's your immediate excuse. I'm just using you against you, as I always do.
You're right, but but if you know that I also feel like it's always too long for me to watch a movie too.
That's true.
Maybe I just am a liar, or maybe I really don't have any time at all.
I mean, I did get you to watch all of Phantasm, because I think that was just because you were enamored by it.
Yeah. Also, you got to get really lucky with me time-wise because I'll just have months where I can't watch anything because I will literally fall asleep every time I try. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, I'm fine. And I'll just be able to watch things again.
Yeah, when spooky season's over, I need to start working on you about Oz because you were like really close.
Yeah.
To where I think that show hits its stride. So, but we'll talk about that in our next session, Michelle. So I've been holding a pen this whole episode. Like I got a pen out to write down a note.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kept holding the pen. And the more I talk with the pen in my hand, the more I feel like this is like I'm a doctor or something. Because I feel like maybe this is what I've been missing all along when I podcast is just something to fiddle with.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I feel better now.
We got pens. Hold up your pen. I want to see it. Yeah.
It's this pen and I'm playing with it.
I'm going to do the thing. Whoa, look, it's made out of rubber.
Wow.
Okay. But anyway.
Mine doesn't look like rubber.
No, it doesn't at all. You just don't know how to do it, man.
No.
Sorry. No, so I'm getting ready. I think that my next big binge is going to be watching American Horror Stories, the spin-off series where every episode is its own story.
Okay.
So with Anthology TV, I love anthology television. I really do. I mean, I like long form stuff too, but I love when something is like a 40-minute contained thing. That's something I enjoy a lot. I like getting something brand new that's tinged the same, it's curated, but it's that. Like I've been watching the brand new Creepshow show. Season 3 of Creepshow is airing every Thursday on Shudder. And I've been watching it. Creepshow does it in an interesting way. They have an hour long-ish, like 40-minute to an hour long show, and there's 2 stories per episode. Interesting way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting way to do it. But anyway, I feel see the pen. It makes me feel like I'm much more authoritative. So, but I have also been watching on Hulu, Only Murders in the Building, which is a TV series with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. Have you heard about it?
You were telling me about it. Yeah.
I think that the last episode just dropped, and I'll be watching that tonight while I eat dinner.
Ooh.
But it's about these 3 people who are relatively random living in this very expensive Manhattan apartment. And there is a mysterious death ruled as suicide, but they're positive it's not. And they're all, the best part is they're all true crime podcast fanatics. Mm-hmm. So they decide to make their own true crime podcast. And it's really funny because the guy who's like at the helm of it, he's a theater director who's like washed up, and then the other guy used to be on a TV show playing a detective, like a famous TV show, but now he's yeah, exactly. And then Selena Gomez is kind of the one who just kind of okay boomers them the whole way through. Mm-hmm. There are really funny moments like where they fail to like he sends a message but one word's wrong, and then he keeps sending the wrong word over and over. And the other one is she's like, hey guys, so I found this and this. Oh, and by the way, please stop signing your text messages. I know it's you. I was like, man, that is too good. Because Steve Martin and Martin Short, they're like in their 70s now. They're I believe Martin Short is 70.
Wow.
There's a great part where he's talking to one of the people that helped finance one of his stage plays, and he's like, but you remember back then I was young and full of this and this, and the guy's like, you were 59. He's like, younger than I am now. You were almost 60. It was really funny. So I've liked that show quite a bit, and they really like tap into the kind of like a little bit of a wink and a nod to the people who like those true crime podcasts. Mm-hmm. There's also like, the whole thing where it's just like so many people are into them. Cause the thing that made me know I was going to love the show was that none of these people liked each other. They're all just kind of very New York about, their neighbors and stuff. But then the fire alarm gets pulled. And before the suicide is revealed, the crime, whatever you want to call it, is revealed, the fire alarm is pulled. So they're all stuck sitting at the bar next door to their apartment building, waiting to find out what's going to happen. And there aren't enough tables or anything. So Martin Short ends up walking up to Steve Martin, and Steve Martin's character just hates him. And Martin Short's like, I know this is going to sound weird, but could I just sit here? You don't have to talk to me. I just need this podcast I listened to just dropped its newest episode. And he goes, oh my God, what's in the dog's mouth? And he's like, I know. And then they're just like sitting at the table, drinking and eating dinner and talking about the podcast. And I was like, man, that just made me happy. I love when stuff like that happens. So, and they even had Tina Fey play the woman who has like the really world renowned podcast, and she like she fits that perfectly. So, good show, a little bit on the spooky side because it is about investigating a murder. And I love how they constantly have him like them recording like voiceovers and then talking about how it's not good, or what was it? You know how like because you listen to true crime some, like they have like these things that they always do, like using like accordion music and stuff. Like a lot of them do stuff like that, right?
Honestly, I haven't listened to any true crime podcasts in like a long time because
I've just noticed they'll play like kind of offbeat, like you know, accordion music or whatever it's called. And at one point when Steve Martin's doing his dialogue, he's talking and there's that music under it, and then when it cuts to it, he's literally playing it at the side, like, and he's like, "It's not scary," and he's like, "It's a haunting instrument, and it has been since its inception." That's a good show. Anyway, but yeah, so now I've got to find some more spookies to get into. So that's like my goal right now. That's why I'm excited you mentioned that podcast. I'll probably check that out.
Cool.
And see what it's like. So, but before we get out of here, Michelle, your business is kind of up and running, isn't it?
Only if by up and running you mean it totally exists, but I'm not telling anybody about it.
You now have a radon company, right?
Yeah. I found someone who's willing to do radon inspections for me. All I have to do is email them and be like, I need a radon inspection done. And then they'll be like, okay, that's $150. And I'm like, yay.
Don't give away your prices.
Oh, that's their price.
Well, but I mean the price you're paying. Oh,
that's okay. That's fine. I'm gonna, yeah. So,
well, congratulations. You're one step closer.
Yeah, but I mean, they just work in PA, so I don't have anybody for New Jersey. Not that I'm licensed in New Jersey yet. So
you submitted the stuff; it will come to pass.
I got an email, so I know they got them, but the email was like, "Hey, you didn't send us your like the document that shows that you passed the exam. Can you send it to us?" So I did, but I just want everyone to understand. And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry," and all that stuff. There's nowhere that tells me that I need to send it. like it asks you if you pass the exam and it asks you when. So I thought like maybe they had like a link up with these people. Like they didn't say, "Oh, please include a copy of the paperwork." They also didn't tell me I needed to like give them the proof of my insurance. Like you know, like they asked like all these questions like, "Oh, like what insurance do you have?" and like who's your agent and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it. So I was like, I bet I probably should put in proof of insurance. But like, so I did. But like you gotta put write this somewhere. And on the form, it doesn't even say where you're supposed to send it. I just had to guess. So that's why I've been so worried about this. I was like, I don't know if I sent it to the right place. So they got it. I sent them the form that they need. So
soon, Michelle, you will, like many of us have always dreamed, be a licensed home inspector in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, without any radon company to help me.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a radon company. I mean, there's a time in every young woman's life where they feel like they'll never find a radon company.
Yeah.
But then they do, because life happens, you know, while you're making other plans.
Yeah.
Plus, who needs to know radon is in their house anyway? It's fine.
Just assume that it's in your house and live with it. I mean, it causes cancer, but you know.
Yeah, so does just like being alive.
Yeah, and smoking and stuff.
Yeah.
And people do that, so
it's true.
Why not just have radon in your house?
But not Raiden from Mortal Kombat. That would be dangerous.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he would be in your house, but you know.
Well, he can transport it because he's got the lightning powers.
Oh. Do you think does he stay in your house then? Or does he just come by and say hi to you or something?
I'd have to Google it.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowисawkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.